Welcome back to the On Deck Circle podcast. I am your host, Nick Zaniboni, with a different nickname this week. No longer the Italian breakfast. It is now Nick Z MBA because I am officially an MBA graduate. Been a big, long week. I'm 30. I now have a new degree. A lot's been going on. Jason, how the heck are you?
I mean, first off, I think a huge congratulations goes out to you. MBA is a huge accomplishment.
Big one.
Bigger accomplishment, turning 30.
Bigger. Yep. And it's my favorite time of the week, Jason. And I think everyone else is the cold open question of the week. Last week, I also had another big event in my life. My fiance had, the wedding shower. Tell me what is your most useful wedding shower gift that you got and maybe even still use. Ready, set, go. All right, Jason, what do we got?
There's a lot of good options. We did a really good job registering. I feel like a lot of people did a good job of, fulfilling that registry. So it's got to be something to do with like the kitchen or
the kitchen.
Yeah. There's a few items. I'd say probably like we use our food processor a lot.
And it's the same one?
Same one. Shout out Cuisinart.
Yep.
Or maybe like some sort of like I can go on. I think the bigger thing is the most useless items that we got because we definitely got a lot of that.
What was a useless item?
China, like fancy Chinaware.
Haven't used it. Times you have fancy people over,
and everyone's like, "Just get it now. You're gonna use it. This is the only time you'll ever get it." It's now been almost 11 years.
Wow.
Still to this day in the box, in the crawl space. We got a juicer. We registered for it thinking, we'll just make juice. We'll just go on a juice cleanse. Or whenever we need to make a juice, we'll use it. Still in the box to this day.
It's still in the plastic.
Yeah. But also, and then pots and pan set. We had a pots and pan set that's still used to this day. So those, I think, are the biggest.
Yeah, I just ate my dinner off of our new plates.
Oh, nice. I didn't even think of that. Yes, that's a good call too. The regular everyday like dinnerware we still use to this day.
How many things were on your registry that you were like, no, honey, we're putting this on? How many did you get? I got 2. I was able to get 2 on there. Did you get any?
I did. I got this is back when like the craft beer boom started really going off. I got a bunch of like beer glasses that I was able to put on there.
Okay.
Which, my wife doesn't drink beer, so I feel like that's one of those things that's like, this is mine. So yeah. That was one of them. I feel like some some grilling accessories too. I got put on there, but for the most part, I kind of like took a back seat.
Yeah. But you needed to get some stuff on there. So I wanted an uni pizza oven.
Ooh, those are like very trendy. I will say,
incredibly trendy.
I went over to a friend's house, a couple of friends of ours, and they have an uni, and we just made it was like Saturday night. The kids were playing, just made just random pizzas one night. It was awesome. I want an uni pizza oven now.
Okay, I have an uni now because my mom said I'm gonna buy my son the only thing that he put on his registry. The other thing actually I did put on that my aunt did buy was an Arctic gigantic cooler.
Oh,
cheaper than a Yeti. I did a lot of the research though. An Arctic is just as good. It's huge. Yep. My goal in life is to be the cooler guy. Though the guy at the barbecue, either sitting on the cooler or if someone's like, hey, can I like grab a beer? I'm like, yeah, my cooler's that one. That's the guy that I want to be. And I think the steps are in motion for me to become that guy with this new cooler.
Dude, I went to a Memorial Day barbecue or pool party on Monday, obviously, for Memorial Day. There was a cooler there. This thing was a top of the line. Yep. It wasn't Yeti.
Was it Brewmate?
It was Brewmate.
It was Brewmate.
It had like a little compartment where you could put like a cocktail.
You could put fucking wine in it.
Yep.
Oh, that was in the running. I was told it's a little bit much.
Oh, okay.
But love Brewmate.
Yes. We have a couple of brewmate koozie things. But I was definitely jealous of the guy with the brewmate cooler on Memorial Day for sure.
You can
that
put
was a cool guy
in there. Oh,
dude, it was like it had everything. It had like a bottle top opener inside. It had a cutting board on top.
Wild. I fucking love coolers. I'm just a cooler guy.
The cooler game has definitely stepped up in the last like 4 or 5 years for sure.
Like the big thing was like, oh, if you pull the spout out, the water will slip out. Now it's like, no, it's gonna air dry in there with the fucking fan on the top.
Yeah. And now the spout is there to like dispense beverages that you may have mixed. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for this whole wedding process. A few of my friends have gotten married, but you're now like the only guy that I've like that I can talk to about being married because my friends are all pretty young. So for any marriage advice, I'm coming right to you and here on the On Deck Circle podcast, brought to you by the Fantasy Six Pack.
That's right. Come for the Dynasty Baseball talk. Stay for the marriage advice.
Yeah. All right. So tell me the stuff that you have to do.
Oh, yeah. Let's get to the business portion.
Yeah, I know.
Do you want to get access to the most award-winning, accurate fantasy baseball rankings according to Fantasy Pros? You can do that by becoming a member at fantasysixpack.net. We had 3 baseball rankers last year, according to Fantasy Pros, ranked in the top 10, including the number 1 overall fantasy baseball ranker in Keith Lott. Shout out him. I mean, that's got to be impressive. I'm not a huge ranker, but that's impressive. You want to get access to those rankings? Head on over to fantasysixpack.net/plans. You sign up to become a member there. You get a ton of access, including a Discord, a bunch of articles. Got waiver wire articles that come out every week. Weekly pitching articles. All that's available to all of our members. So head on over there now. Become a member today.
Yeah,
and do it for the business portion.
For the business. Yeah. Celtics lost. I'm bummed. Whatever. Next.
I was going to give you a little bit of a cold open here, but then
no, go. I sold my tickets to Game 7.
Wait. Tonight is Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Celtics are not there. Nick, how do you feel about it? He's so distraught he had to leave the podcast. Still rocking the
baby. 9. No, I'm upset. What was cool? So there are a few things in my life that everyone identifies me with. One is Hasbulla.
Yes.
Hasbulla.
Your IG stories.
Because I post it every Thursday. Another one is DMX. So like if DMX comes on, I'll get a text from someone and they're like, "Hey Nick, DMX is on." I'm like, "All right, bro, whatever." And then the last one is the Celtics. I got so many texts on Saturday night. Saturday was my birthday party for one. We did some pickleball. It was great. And we went to the bar to finish the Celtics game. That was the night of the buzzer beater. The tip in from Derek White.
Yep.
So I got a text from former co-host Dave Eddy just saying, "Holy shit." I like having these things as a part of my personality that people are like, "Oh, like when Hasbulla dies, I'm going to get texts."
Yeah.
Like whether it be from you or like random people from high school, like people are going to be like, "Is Nick okay?" Cuz Hasbulla is dead. But this stung because I truly believed in them after that game. And I was like, oh my God, they're going to do this. And my lovely fiance was very good to me because I was so distraught after selling my tickets. Because I was like, dude, you sold out, like whatever. And then she was kind enough to remind me that if they win, you'll go to a finals game. And if they lose, you'll have $750 in your pocket.
When you texted me that, I was like, man, that is a great outlook on a Game 7.
I know, but it was tough. I'm bummed that they lost. I'm a big run it back guy. Like the team's amazing on paper. Like they just need to figure some stuff out, and I think an off season can do that.
I mean, honestly, it sucks to go down 3-0, but they're basically one Jason Tatum ankle roll away from probably winning Game 7, right? I mean,
dude, it was the first fucking.
I know that hurt bad.
And then they just relied on Jaylen Brown, and Jaylen Brown's not that guy. He can't be the alpha. I love him. Give him all the money he wants. He's my favorite player in the NBA. He cannot be your number 1-1-1-1A option.
Also, I saw you pull out that chain, and I don't know if I ever showed you, but I was inspired.
Let's go.
I too have a giant.
Yo, they started selling bigger ones. I don't know if you've seen them. They're like this big. They're just gigantic logos. They're $80. And one night I'm gonna be drunk enough, Jason, and I'm gonna buy one. And the next show is I'm just gonna be all logo.
Hell yeah!
But we're on Celtics forever. I'm bummed.
Yeah,
we should talk
about a baseball podcast. Let's probably should talk some baseball. This week we're gonna be getting in. It's been about a month or two. I think it's roughly around 2 months of the season now. A few guys here that have kind of maybe either not lived up to expectations or this is turning a new corner. Is this who they are? So I think it may be appropriate to kind of go through some of these guys and see where we are at and if we're slamming or maybe just gently pushing the panic button on these guys. First guy we're going to talk about here right away, which is probably a pretty hot topic right now, and that's Julio Rodriguez, outfielder for Seattle Mariners. Struggled very, very badly out of the gate. Currently, he's only slashing 246, 307, only slugging 442. The counting stats are there, though. He does have 10 stolen bases, 10 home runs. The quality of the bats, though, are not there. Striking out a ton, chasing pitches out of the zone too much, but making a lot of hard contact. When he does hit the ball, he's making hard contact. He's still in the 94th percentile of hard hit rate. And honestly, the last 2 weeks, he's been a whole new player. Yep. I don't know what clicked or what turned, but the last 2 weeks, he's now slashing 328, 371, slugging 569 with 164 WRC plus. Are you panicked on Julio Rodriguez?
No. What's so not fun, but about these types of discussions in June, because it is June 1st, is just 1 to 2 bad weeks can plummet your numbers completely. So I'm glad you pointed out the numbers of the more recent, and they're phenomenal. They're the J-Rod that we know and love, and that's the player that he is. But I wanted to include him in this because he's one of the people that I see asked on Twitter, like, should I trade? You don't trade J-Rod. You don't. That's right. That's like the only question. That's like the only answer. But I see the people like Cross and Clegg getting these questions on Twitter being like, should I just trade J-Rod for this person or that person? I'm like, no, you fucking idiot. You shouldn't trade for anybody because he's a top 5 player in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, you just nailed it. He's definitely still a top 5 dynasty asset.
1,000%.
Again, dynasty. I think a lot of people get mixed up with dynasty, especially in like dynasty roto. People start seeing the plummeting in the standings, and they get concerned, right? So like it's of all things, roto is nothing more than the baseball card numbers at the end of the season. That's basically what it comes down to. It doesn't matter if you're falling in April or May. When it comes down to the end of the season, if those numbers are still there with it, which they're going to be, you're going to be fine. I don't think you definitely not be trading away or selling or panicking on a Julio Rodriguez in Dynasty. Absolutely not. Still only his second year. And a lot of that can be chalked up to, sophomore slump. There's a lot of guys that go through sophomore slumps. This is a guy that came out and went 30 for 30 as a rookie. So, I mean, he's probably, if not on pace, very close on pace, going 30 for 30 again. All it takes is 1 or 2 hot months, and he's already right there. I mean, 10 stolen bases for the first 2 months. So I'm not worried at all. Neither should you if you own him. The next guy here, I think, you probably have more to say about him than I do, and that's Rafael Devers, third baseman.
I don't have anything to say about this.
Right now, the ratios are bad. The counting stats are still there. However, he's got 47 RBIs, 13 home runs. Those 47 RBIs are top 3 in the league right now. So while, the batting average and the on base is very alarming, a lot of that might be due to the low BABIP. His BABIP is I think at 240 or something, which is just a way below average, league average. And then similar to Julio Rodriguez, the advanced stats all still look great. So to me, I'm not concerned about Devers. But what does Luchador think?
Man, I would love to say that I've been able to watch every single Red Sox game and be able to evaluate Rafael Devers. Unfortunately, I do not get the Red Sox on YouTube TV. So the majority of my Red Sox watching is me doing Gamecast on my phone.
So wait, you are similar to me because I have YouTube TV and I don't get Cubs games. So we're in the same boat.
But I get to watch some other games sometimes. Yeah. There are more Braves games on my TV than Red Sox games. But bless you. It's not something I can't be worried about him. So I'm gonna say what the sports talk showy host thing to say would be right now, and that would be, well, he got his money, so he gave up on playing. But no, he's been good when he as you said, the counting stats are great.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of I think he's at the point where he's trying to do too much, and there might be a lingering injury somewhere, but I'm not completely worried because he's Rafael Devers, and he's proven to me that he can go through a slump, and just like with the J-Rod stuff, a bad week or two can just destroy your numbers. So we just need to hope that he comes out if he has a good June, he could easily be back up to where we see him as, because it is hard for fantasy wise. No, you don't pay because he's contributing to everything except for average and OBP. So you really can't be that worried, especially as a fantasy player. I'm more speaking as a Red Sox fan on being slightly worried, but not just ready to see him break out again.
Yeah, again, it's hard to get you concerned over a guy that's top 3 in RBIs. And I think again, a lot of that's chalked up to his BABIP. His BABIP is just unworldly low right now, and that's obviously causing the batting average to dip. I think we're going to see some regression to the mean and come back up a little bit on that BABIP. He has to. I mean, it's so low now, and that's what we've always seen out of Devers, right? He's always been the high average, the high OBP, the good power, the good RBI totals. It'll be there at the end of the season. It's just going to take some time to bounce back. Next guy, I'm sure Luchador doesn't have a thought on him, but we're going to go ahead and talk about JT Realmuto, catcher/DH for the Philadelphia Phillies. He too is off to a very slow start, slashing 257, 307, slugging 423. To me, the power numbers are very concerning. He only has 3 home runs for the first 2 months of the season.
Yep.
He's only got a 6% fly ball to home run ratio. The hard hit rate is way down. It's below league average and down almost 10% from last season. Same as the X slugging is way down. And I think the concerning part to me is the struggles versus fastballs and velocities. When someone's struggling against curveballs and off speeds, that's not that alarming. A lot of people struggle against off speed and breaking balls. But when you're struggling on seeing and hitting fastballs, that to me is alarming. I mean, he's striking out. The put away rate against fastballs is way up this year too. So that to me is something that I think of the guys of this list, he might be the most concerning. He might be the one that I'm most concerned about. And it pains me because I bought him in the offseason. So to me, I'm concerned as a JT Realmuto owner and buyer in this offseason. He's definitely not the guy I bought in this offseason coming off of that hot 2022. He did play in the World Baseball Classic. I don't know. We saw Trey Turner too. He also struggled. It was awesome in the World Baseball Classic. He's off to a slow start too. I don't know if there's any correlation between World Baseball Classic and this season, but those two right off the gate.
They both play for the Phillies too. That makes you think.
But then, and then there's other guys too that, Yoshida was awesome World Baseball Classic. He's off to a great start this year and in a whole new league. So I don't really know if there's that much correlation to that, but I'm concerned as a Realmuto owner. But do you have any concerns? Are you panicking?
I would say out of the four guys we were talking about, this is the guy that I'm most concerned with. But I'm not. There are some numbers that are sticking out to me that are still valuable, and that's stolen bases. He still like for a catcher. I understand like 7 stolen bases isn't like an amazing amount of number, an amazing number right now, but he's on pace to get you over 20 bags, and that's still very valuable in in like a roto or any league now. But
especially out of the catcher position.
especially like that's like free.
Yeah.
I'm a very like catcher's like your free space. Like he's someone that like so you actually have this player in 30 Rock, Sobal from the Giants.
Yep.
So in my home league, I have JT and Sobal or however or Sabol or something. I've just been because he's been great. I've been able to just kind of like switch them like just back and forth, like just based on matchup.
Yeah.
And you don't have JT Realmuto on your team to be a platoon guy, but I think he had a very poor beginning of the season, and I think we might see him be not as good as he was last year because he was like almost all-time great for a catcher last year.
Right.
I think we'll see him really get back to like the above average, but he's 32. And as a 30-year-old now, I can speak that I'm not as good as I was when I was 26.
Yeah, I just quickly looked up his World Baseball Classic numbers, and there's nothing alarming. I mean, the counting stats are not there. It's a small sample size. He only had 12 at bats, but he slashed 500 with a 1200 OPS. So I mean, he was excelling in the World Baseball Classic in a small sample size. I don't know. I guess there's no correlation with that. So. Yeah. But yeah, I think like I said, we would both share the same sentiment of the four guys we're talking about tonight. He's the one I'm most concerned about.
Who do we got next?
What's that?
Who do we got next?
Pitcher.
Oh, Corbin. Nice. Oh,
we have at least one pitcher. Can't be all hitting. As much as everyone loves hitting, I myself like pitching. But Corbin Burns, starting pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers. His ERA is up almost a whole run different from last year. He's walking more batters. And right now, the cutter, which is usually a lot of his bread and butter, the cutter curveball combo, the cutter struggling so far this year. The put away rate and the whiff rate are way down on the cutter from last year. Even the curveball has been less effective this year. So those two pitches that he was like almost relying on heavily last year and even in 2021 are just not effective this year. His chase rate all around is down 4% this year. He's just not fooling hitters. He's not getting the chases. He's not getting the swing and misses. Even the swinging strike rate is down from last year, down almost 4% from his stellar 2021 year. So obviously the called strikes were still there, which are probably a lot on the fastball and the first pitch strike. But the secondary pitches are not being swung at because the swinging strike rate is way down. The chase rate's way down. The CSW rate is way down. And when you look at his ERA versus his xERA and FIP, there's also more definitely reasons for concern too. He's got a 3.6 ERA despite having only a 253 BABIP. So if you look at it between the ERA, the FIP, the xERA, and then that low BABIP and somewhat high ERA, there's almost concern that we might see more reasons for concern and more bad outcomes for Burns in the coming months. Again, pitching this year has just been all over the board. I mean, there's nobody that's really, really like that guy that's like unhittable, right? Like everyone's having struggles from an ERA standpoint. I don't know if it's from the pitch clock or maybe they got juiced balls. However, there is also concern for Burns. Not as much from compared to Realmuto, but I for sure am concerned on Burns.
I have a take.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I wish I can't be a full prop comic tonight, but I wish I had a tinfoil hat on. He's doing it on purpose.
It's possible. There's all that controversy in the offseason.
So mad about the arbitration talk. I think he's sandbagging. I legitimately believe that Corbin Burns is not performing well on purpose just to say, like, fuck you to the Brewers. And because he's going to get traded. And he's just plummeting his value. So the Yankees or whoever trade for, maybe, I don't know. The Cardinals wouldn't trade it with the Brewers, but like whoever is trading for him is going to pay less now because he is not performing to his usual standard. And once he gets traded, Jason, he's going to be Corbin Burns again because he's doing this on purpose.
I was just quickly trying to see, maybe there was like less RPMs on some of his pitches compared to last year. I'm trying to see. I don't really see a ton, and I love this bold theory.
Yeah, he's just doing it on purpose. Has to be because he's good.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at this. Yeah. I mean, there's not a ton of. It's a little bit down, but nothing too alarming.
The beginning of the season was worse, and he's performed better as of late.
Right.
But, so if he continued his beginning of the season, I think it would have actually had a claim here. But yeah, I still believe it.
Yeah. Again, I don't know. Again, just going back, like just pitching itself is just like nobody. Like, there's nowhere like I can tell you right now who would be like a leading candidate for Cy Young because all the top guys have not been stellar. I mean, especially on the NL side, the AL, you can maybe argue like Shane McClanahan's still been really good, and then Strider, him and Strider, like the only two that can really thoroughly.
Roman's been awesome, Jason.
I know. So
Cy Young awesome, but like very good.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking right now, his last couple starts, he has pitched a little bit better, but he's still got 5 earned against the Astros in 5 innings, and a couple other outings. But he is up and down a lot. The first few starts were really bad for Corbin. He's coming back around. Not slamming that panic button, not looking to flip him unless it was like a super stellar deal that I got, 2 or 3 just below him tier pitchers and maybe like a draft pick or something. But I'm not selling Corbin Burns just yet.
We'll see.
All right, it's everyone's favorite time of the show.
Down on the farm.
Jason, I am not going to put my luchador mask on again because me not having glasses on gives me a headache. So we are not dealing with that again.
Okay.
We are talking about a Red Sox prospect. He is someone that I don't know how to say his name. Chase Meidroth.
Sure.
Okay. He is a second base and third base prospect for the Boston Red Sox. He's currently in Double-A. Got drafted last season in the 4th round. Came out of San Diego. Someone that in my research for the first-year player drafts this year, I like to look especially at who the Red Sox pick just because it's fun to root for guys that you want to root for in real life. And this guy's been doing great this season. In 130 ABs, he's batting .308, has an OPS of .870, three home runs, 6 stolen bases, and 22 RBIs. And if he was doing this in single A, I'd be like, okay, like that's fine. But him being in Portland is pretty good. Like those are good numbers. They just called up Marcelo Mayer to Portland as well. So I'm definitely going to have to go up there.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, especially with the summer coming up. But he's a guy that I've been kind of looking at, and I picked him up in 30 Rock, Jason.
Oh.
I drafted him. And Jordan offered me a trade for him. And I was like, oh.
You made it.
That means that this guy might actually be very good. I accepted the trade. It was Esteves, the relief pitcher for the Angels. It was just closer to now. But that's a guy that if he's asking you for a prospect, your ears perk up a little bit and you're like, okay, I got one. Like this guy might be something good. And last year he had in 70 at bats, he hit 4 home runs, 15 RBI, and 4 stolen bases with a 909 OPS. So like there's there could be something there. And this is where Heim's good is in the margins. These like 4th, 5th, 6th round picks that might be better than you really think. So he's someone that I'm definitely looking at, and he is 21, so he's not crazy old. He's a 21-year-old in AA seems fine. Like, it's not like he's a 24-year-old in AA and you're like, well, he's mashing. Well, that's because he's a man amongst boys. But he's someone just to keep an eye on. I would take a flyer on him. I own him in a couple leagues. But how about you? Have you heard of him?
I have not. And then
I'm doing such a good job.
I know. I feel like we're just like, educating everyone, including our co-hosts.
Yeah.
I feel like all that talk, only thing I could really get out of it was how much I miss Jordan in the 30 Rock DM chat, the group chat.
I forgot he left.
Yeah.
Why?
Reasons to be unknown.
Okay. He's probably mad.
Shout out Jordan.
Yeah.
All
right, Jason. What do you have this weekend? Anything good?
My son's golden birthday party.
10?
6.
Oh yeah.
We're celebrating it on Saturday, but Tuesday is his golden birthday.
Is it like a gold member?
Awesome. No, that'd be hilarious though. He'd be like, "What the hell is this?" I love gold.
Peels off his skin.
Yeah, just eats it.
Yeah, that's good.
That's what I got going on.
Good. I've got a birthday party in Rhode Island I have to go to. He's a good friend, though, so I guess I have to.
All right, well, it's a birthday party weekend then.
Yeah, just a lot of birthdays, Just got to grind it out. Got to be social.
Shout out to birthday parties. We'll see you guys next week.
Yes, sir. See you, bud.